Welcome back to the Mad Black Giant podcast. Let's call this the season three premiere. I'm coming off of a long, short summer. I was able to celebrate life. I was able to celebrate love and new beginnings. We had a couple birthdays over the summer. We had celebrated 10 years of marriage, my wife and I. That was amazing. Um, and I started a new job, and my kids started a new school together. So, there's been some really, really good highs. Um, Also, there have been some lows. I got into a car accident. Um, Me and the kids, we are okay. My car was totaled, but I was able to get a new one. So rounded up a bit when that happened. It's been some time now, but we're better. Um, and I think I went through, I'm not going to call it depression, but I went through a low point. It was a low point. Um, and it really, I don't know. I don't know how to put it outside of, I really had to face some insecurities within myself. Um, and even to some extent, I'm still kind of facing those, which is kind of crazy to me, but that be it sometimes, you know? Um, So I'm working on improving myself. I'm back in therapy. That has been going well. Um, so yeah, I'm moving. Um, Moving around, not moving physically. Um, Recently, my wife has called me out for not living out the qualities that I have been posting about. I was doing the motivational manual, but at the same time, I was fucking up. I was fucking up. Um, so when she called me out, it really messed me up, and it really hurt my feelings. Um, but she wasn't wrong. She was not wrong. So I had to take some time. I stepped back, do some little reflection, and I really had to get myself back together. Um, because at the end of the day, I was being a hypocrite. I was being a bit of a hypocrite. I was making these posts, and I'm thinking I'm motivating people, and in the ways I probably was. I hope that I was, but shit, I wasn't doing the things that I was posting about. If I was just being a little bit transparent right now, so that was tough for me. Um, I just wasn't being the man that she needed me to be in that space, um, nor the man that my children needed me to be. So that was really difficult for me. Um, but sometimes you have to get low. Sometimes you have to look yourself in the mirror, write it out, cry a little bit, pray on it if that's what you do. Go to therapy if that's what you do. Although I'm an advocate, I think we all should be going to therapy. You don't need to wait until um, your mental health is breaking down for you to get in there. Get in there while things are good, and it'll give you some skills and some tools to help yourself out when once things finally do get rough, because they're gonna always get rough at some point. So while I am not perfect, and I don't think anybody is, of course, um, I know now that that's not what my wife wants me to be. She doesn't want me to be perfect, but she does want me to be someone that is committed to constantly improving, committed to being more self-aware, committed to being um, more of a partner and a communicator. And a lot of these things I just was not doing, or at least I wasn't doing it consistently. Um, and letting her down in that way, and in other ways, has it's been hurtful to me. Um, but the conversations that we've had have been kind of eye opening. Um, so I want to grow. I want to grow. I do not want to be a hypocrite. Um, Mad Black Dad is about growth. It's about sharing journeys. It's about community. Um, and I think my part in that, in facilitating this and creating this space, is to be transparent about the times that I have been less than. So here is me opening up the floor for other people to also talk about some times where you just you weren't hitting the mark. You was just off. And I think we all go through periods where we just be off, but it's like, how do we bounce back? Do we bounce back? Um, and what does it take to bounce back? And I think one of the big things of that is getting to a point where you are self-aware, like, oh, this is what I'm doing. I can see everybody else doing these things, and I can point them out, but I can never point it out of myself. Um, and that was one of my big things. It still kind of is. I could put my counselor hat on, and I can break it down and give you this a full spectrum of things for a person based on a little bit of things that they've done and some of the examples that I've seen in them in real life. But when it comes to me, I'm not applying that to myself at all, ever. And that's a problem. That's a problem. I'm not saying that to boast. I'm saying that, I be having these blinders on for myself. Um, I don't think that I'm perfect, but I do think that there have been times, many a times, where I thought that I was better than I actually was. Um, and that leads to some real uncomfortable conversations, real uncomfortable situations where life and people have these opportunities to humble you. Um, and I have been humbled, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I have been humbled many a time. So hey, um, I'll probably be humbled again, but it will not be without me trying with all of my heart and all of my mind to do better. Um, but yeah, um, over the past couple of weeks, I have received, at least what I'm going to believe, are signs um, that I need to get back into Mad Black Dad. I've been, I dove headfirst into this new job, and it is quite demanding throughout the day. Um, and that's okay because I do like what I do as a school counselor. I love it. Um, but that's not all that I am, and that's not all that I have to offer. Um, and Mad Black Dad, as a brand and as a business, um, as an initiative, uh, I've let that down. I've let that down. Um, about a week or two ago, a friend reached out to me, um, and they suggested that I start back up an old program that I had to sunset, simply because I didn't have the infrastructure to. Uh, um, and I'm like, man, like I knew at the time that it was good, um, but I didn't know how to keep it alive. Uh, and they offered it. She was like, "Hey, look, we can sit down, talk about it, and what this looks like, and this is how I did it." Um, so I'm open. I'm open to at least hearing it out, um, because there is a lot of work to be done. There is a lane for me to do this work. Um, it's just about me making time, um, taking some initiative, um, and committing to seeing it through. But most importantly, strategizing, and communicating. Two of my areas for growth. Let's call it that. Strategizing and communicating. Need some uh, there's room for aggressive expansion in those areas. Um, but I'm excited. I'm excited that hey, you need to bring this back, and this is something that I have not thought of in 2, 3 years, maybe even more. Where it's just like once I sunset, I'm like I just don't know how I'm gonna do it. So if there's a way where this could work, I'm excited potentially. Um, the program was donating clothes to men and boys in need. Um, and at one point, I was literally just collecting clothes that were donated, and I wash them, and I would hang them up, and I would go to different community centers, and different like events, especially during that back to school season, where I'm able to have these clothes up, and I'm giving them out, and people are calling me looking for different men's clothes and boys' clothes in different sizes. Um, but unfortunately, it got to a point I had clothes scattered in my basement, and uh, it was not I was not getting back all that I was putting out. Um, and storage, and then of course became an issue, but for some reason, like the connections had gone dry, and maybe that was also on me. Because again, I didn't feel like I had the infrastructure to do it. And because I didn't communicate and I wasn't really good at strategizing, I saw it best at the time to sunset that entire program. But a friend is saying I can help you build it back up, and I'm interested. I'm interested to hear what she has to say. Um, so yeah, I'm at a point now where I'm really trying to figure out where do we go from here. We as in Mad Black Dad. We as in the community. I think there's a lot of stuff that I have, a lot of plays that I've left on the field, a lot of things that I've left on the table. Just because, again, poor at strategizing, poor at communicating. Um, but I think that there are some things that are still available, and I know that there's a group of men out there that are looking for this community. So it's up to me to bring this back, and get back into it. So you're gonna see more of me, starting very soon. I am bringing back out the motivational manual. It's going to look a little different. Something that's much more simple, but still getting to the point. The motivational manual is coming back. You probably have already seen one by the time this is posted. Um, so yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm in a good space. I want to do more, and I want to be more, and I want to share this whole thing with you all. And I really, really hope that you guys stick with me. Invite people to join the ride, so we can all do this, so we can grow together. All right. So that's all I have. I already know what the next video is going to be about. That one touched me in a way that I do want to like give it its own space. Um, so that's where we are. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Stay mad.